Hey everyone, welcome to r/Entitled Parents, where we get an up-close look at the darker side of parenthood. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got some stories for you. Before I start this, I want to apologize to anyone out there who knows, speaks, or even pretends to know French, because I'm about to mangle a couple words in this. Entitled Mom mad at me for assisting retail worker with translations. This is a pretty odd story, considering I'm one of the few bilingual Canadians in my area. Unless you're in Ottawa, most people only speak one. Cast: me, Majestic Elephant; HT, Humiliated Teen; R, Retail Worker; F, French Speaker; EM, Entitled Monkey. I went to the mall with my dad, but we split up as soon as we got in since we both wanted to go to different stores. So I'm alone, no biggie. I'm an 18-year-old girl for some context. I go into a bookstore. A worker and a customer are trying to talk, but F doesn't speak English very well and has a fairly heavy accent. I approach. Would you like some help? I'm fluent. As we're finishing up, a woman approaches us. Entitled Mom. What's going on here? Retail worker. Oh, she's just translating a bit for us. While I'm thinking about it, I can offer you a 15% off coupon for your help. It's not much, but it's the best I can do. Entitled Mom. Excuse me? My child can do that too, and better. And she calls her child. Teen. What's going on? Entitled Mom. Speak French, you took a class. We are required to have 1 credit in French as a second language to graduate high school. Teen. I barely passed, and that was basic stuff. I can't even hold a conversation. Entitled Mom to me. Talk to him in French. Me. Salut, comment allez-vous? Teen. Yeah, I don't know. Can we go? Entitled Mom, agitated. I deserve a coupon too. F looks at me. Il y a un problème? There's a problem? Entitled Mom to Teen. Answer him! Teen. Mon mère est fou? Very grammatically incorrect way of saying my mother is crazy. F chuckles. Entitled Mom. What's so funny? Teen. Mom, they don't have the book I need, so a coupon would be useless anyway. He starts to lead Entitled Mother out by the arm. Entitled Mother. Fine, but we'll check again later. F, R, and I just look at each other. I quickly explain the situation to poor F, who is utterly confused. F gets his book and everything is fine. I didn't buy anything, so never got a coupon. Lol. F offered to buy me a coffee though, which I declined since I had to find my dad. Pretty tame story, but nothing too crazy happens here. By the way, the book was an English-French dictionary, in case you're wondering why a French person was shopping in an English bookstore. I'm not sure why he was there specifically. Literally every store around here is English, so if you really needed something, then there really was no options. Z, told ya I was gonna butcher those words. Entitled Mother calls me a bully for not letting her child win. Saw a post about plushies and wanted to share what happened to me a while back. EM equals Entitled Mom. K equals kid around 5 or 6 years old. Me equals me. I loved going to the arcade, especially to try out the claw/crane machines. It was near the place I used to work, so occasionally I would drop by during my lunch breaks to try my luck at it. Usually kept my prizes in the car or gave them to my girlfriend. There was this one machine that had a particular plushie I liked. Kid was playing, so I waited behind him. I saw that he was having some trouble grabbing a prize, and he had spent quite a bit of money, so I told him to try pushing the toy to the edge instead. He asked if I could help him, and I told him that he should try it by himself, as I wasn't sure I could get it and I didn't want to spend his money. But he kept asking me to help him win a prize, so I caved and gave it a shot. The claw went down, grabbed the plushie's foot, and dragged it right to the edge, dropping it into the prize window. Kid was ecstatic and grabbed the prize happily. I was pretty happy with myself too. He thanked me and ran off, so I figured it was time to try and win myself a prize. Unfortunately, my luck wasn't so good. Spent quite a bit of time on the machine until I managed to drag the prize closer to the edge. Figured I would only need a couple more tries before I would get the prize. I was about to give it another try when I heard, Hey, stop playing that machine! Entitled mother comes running up while pulling the boy who won the prize. She told me to back away and to quote her, "Don't you dare put that coin in." I asked her what was the matter, and she said, "My son has spent a lot of money in here and he only won one toy. This is not fair and you're cheating. He should have won a few more and obviously the prize at the edge should be his. Let him have his turn now." I was shocked and explained that I helped him win the first toy and I had to use my own coins to push his plushie closer. She said that was BS and I was trying to cheat a child. I told her to ask Kid, and he shyly nodded his head, telling her I helped him to win it. This was when she completely lost it, screaming at him to keep quiet and telling me how much of a bully I am, trying to extort money from her son, a loser with nothing better to do than hang around the arcade, and at some point I believe she called me a pedophile as well. At this point, the shouting attracted the attention of the arcade manager, who came up to us to figure out what was going on. I tried explaining the situation to him, but was drowned out by Entitled Mom. She gave her side of the story about how I bullied her son into giving up the machine when he was about to win a prize. I shrugged my shoulders and thought, that's it. He'll probably listen to her since she's shouting. Guess I'm not getting a plushie today. Thankfully, the arcade manager said, "Ma'am, I saw him help your child win the prize. He probably wouldn't have gotten that if this guy wasn't around. You have been very rude to him." Entitled Mom gave me a look of pure rage, as if she wanted to burn my eyes out, and grabbed Kid and left. Store manager spoke to me a little after she left, and I briefly explained what happened. He opened up the machine, took out the plushie, and handed it to me and said, "Here you go, man. Really sorry for the mess. Hope you have a good day." While walking to my car, I saw Entitled Mom talking/scolding to Kid in the parking lot. She glared at me while giving a rude gesture. I waved my plushie in the air triumphantly. Too long didn't read. I helped Kid win a plushie from a claw machine, spend a couple bucks trying to win my own, and managed to get pretty close to winning it when Entitled Mom says that I have to let her kid win it, and if I don't, I'm a bully who is taking advantage of her kid. Start screaming and shouting at me. It's amazing how so many people think that the world owes them something. Entitled Mom tries to claim pool. Gets destroyed by friendly teenagers. Edit. Meant to say teenager in the title. Too long didn't read at bottom. Context time. I live in a very white part of Colorado, US. I like to swim at my local rec center for a workout. I am a male. Makes more sense later. EM equals Entitled Mom. Me equals guess. NK equals nice kid. RT random teenager. On mobile, formatting is bad. Sorry. Swim lessons were happening at my rec center that day, so most of the lanes were blocked off by swimmers. I grabbed the last empty one and started to swim. I was about 80% of the way done with my workout when a mom and her 5-year-old walk into the pool area. She looks at the full pool and decides to go for my lane. I guess she thought I'd be a soft target because I'm only 15 and look young. She goes to stand in front of my lane. I think to myself, here we go again, and just continue swimming because I'm almost done. Every time I reach her side of the lane, she shouts for me to stop. I finally actually do when she throws the kickboard I was previously using, blocking my path. I bob up angrily and ask her what she thought she was doing. She proceeds to yell at me. "I promised my son he could swim here today." I reply with, "Honestly, I couldn't care less. This is the lane I'm using." You could almost see the steam rising from her ears. "I am an adult. You have no right to say that to me. Now move." I refused to move and instead resumed my swimming. When I reached her end again, she threw the kickboard again, this time hitting me in the forehead. I yelled, "Ow, what the heck?" 'Cause those things hurt. She got really mad at that, bending over to scream an inch from my face. "Don't use profanity in front of my child. You should be ashamed." Followed by, "You're so misogynistic, you're only not letting me in because I'm a woman." At this point I was like, whoa, lady. But this is where the fun began. Before I continue, the generation gap in my region is really pronounced. Most of the adults are annoying as heck, and the teens are mostly chill. RT walks past Entitled Mother as her voice reaches 80 decibels, and catches my eye. She gives a subtle nod, then proceeds to lightly push Entitled Mom. Entitled Mom, who is already bending forward from screaming in my face, topples right in the pool. She was wearing a swimsuit, but it was still supremely satisfying to see the look of utter surprise on her face. In the end, no cops were called, just justice served by a friendly pedestrian, and the lifeguard took my side when entitled mom confronted him afterward. The kid just sort of watched the whole time, but I hope he hasn't been corrupted by his mother. Too long didn't read. Woman tries to take my lane, gets pushed into the pool. Entitled parent teaching entitled child how to drive hits my car with hers in Target. EP equals entitled parent. Me equals me. C equals cop. EC equals entitled child. LM equals little boy, I babysit. HL equals helpful lady. So this happened about a week ago. I'm grabbing stuff for the little man at Target for his mom. We grab cookies, blueberries, and other healthy foods other than cookies for lunches and dinners for the next week. The usual, so I put the little man in his car seat and the groceries in the other side. Now it is to note there is a big truck on our left side and unfortunately we have to try to see behind it. So I'm inching out behind this big truck, unable to see on that side. I roll down my window and ask helpful lady loading up her car next to me if she could look out for me. Then in return, I'll block traffic to help her get out. She was one bag until done. She agreed because, well, it would help her too. So she's guiding me out, making sure there's no cars, when I see her jump out of the way and I get hit on my passenger rear, and that's where the little man's car seat is. So I pull forward into my spot. Helpful lady picks herself up and comes to my passenger side. Knows that's where little man is. Thankfully, entitled child didn't hit the door, just the back, but little man is crying. So I get out of my car to call the cops and check out the little man. That's when entitled parent comes out. Entitled parent. You hurt my baby! She's just learning how to drive and now look at her! The girl was crying and sure I felt bad. She just got in her first accident, but I was trying to comfort the little man. Me. Did you not see helpful lady standing to help me out? There's a really big truck and we can't see over it. Your daughter almost ran over a pedestrian in the parking lot, which, by the damage to my car, she was going way too fast for a parking lot. Entitled child. My mommy said I could go 15 in a parking lot. I'm calling the cops. You wrecked my new car. Her bumper and mine were dented pretty bad, but hers was the entire front. Mine was the side. Me. That's a good thing to do after you get in an accident. Do you know the non-emergency number? Entitled parent. You need to call 911, not the non-emergency number. My baby's hurt. Me. No one seems to be hurt that badly and we're all walking, and the little man is just scared. We need to call the non-emergency number, not 911. Helpful lady. I'll call. Entitled parent. I was teaching her how to drive. You cannot contribute to it in front of her. We're going shopping for her prom shoes and now everything's ruined thanks to you and your baby. Me. 1, I'm his nanny. 2, you told your daughter it was okay to go 15 in a full parking lot with lots of pedestrians. 3, she saw a helpful lady and she didn't think to slow down, only to try to speed into a spot that you couldn't see, even if it was taken or not. So now we are waiting for the cops, who asked for both of our statements. Helpful lady and I have the same story. He interviewed all of us at the same time. They have a completely different one. However, now we, helpful lady and me, are appearing in court later this month because he ruled in EP's favor and she's suing for damages. Edited for more information. Her lawyer sent me the suing papers this morning, as the accident happened last week, with over $300 worth of damage to my car. I can't wait for this day to play out, because lo and behold, when I contacted my lawyer, he found out entitled kid has a class for driving, not a learning permit. AKA, entitled kid not legal to drive, so I got that going for me. Plow my driveway for free. In college, I sort of accidentally got into the snow removal business around my neighborhood, since I had a weird class schedule that gave me a lot of free time in the mornings and not a lot of homework. I had purchased a small John Deere compact tractor as a project to tinker with in my garage in my spare time. I got it for next to nothing since the previous owner knew nothing about it and considered it to be just a stupid lawnmower, and just wanted it out of his yard. Well, this thing was definitely not a lawnmower. This was a proper tractor with hydraulics and everything, just shrunk down to about the size of a Mini Cooper. The kind of thing a homeowner would use for basic maintenance work around their property that requires something a little beefier than a riding mower, but not quite a full-blown farm tractor. It was about 30 years old when I bought it, having been built sometime in the 80s, but ran perfectly, and since the guy threw in a snowblower attachment with it, I figured I could make a little extra cash clearing driveways in the morning before class. I had to fix a few things and added a spot to carry a shovel for the spots I couldn't get with the blower, and I was all set. Well, after the first major snowfall and just going around offering my services to neighbors, I had about 20 driveways that I would do and got the money I paid for the tractor, which admittedly wasn't much, back pretty much immediately. I wasn't charging a whole lot since I was just some kid, not a professional snowplow contractor, but most people on my street were elderly and very grateful for my services and tipped me pretty heavily. There were a few people that actually seemed to enjoy shoveling their own driveway or had their own snowblower who didn't pay me to do it regularly, but they would ask me occasionally to do it as a one-time thing if the snow was super deep or they just didn't have time. One lady who lived 3 houses down from me, however, had pretty adamantly refused my help at the beginning of the season and almost seemed offended that I thought she was incapable of shoveling her own driveway. By the way, this woman was probably 26 at most and had like 7 or 8 kids. She even had her own bus, which was a converted 40 Econoline van that she used to transport them all around in. I guess her only hobby was passionate hugging. I figured with all those kids taking up her time, she would be thrilled to have someone look after her driveway, but I guess not. February rolls around, and while my roommate, still jealous of her by the way, was on vacation down south somewhere, we got absolutely hammered with snow. Like, I'm talking 1.5 to 2 feet overnight every night. I had to get up extra early each morning just to get everything done before I had to go to class around noon. I always just cleared a single path out of our driveway so my roommates could walk to class, and I could get the tractor out, but I never fully cleared our driveway until last. My roommates didn't have cars, and it wasn't like I was taking my truck anywhere if I was out snowblowing. One day I get finished with my customers' driveways and come home to finish cleaning up our driveway when passionate hugging, obsessed lady comes over waving her arms around at me. Since that's pretty long to type each time, we'll just call her EM for Entitled Mother as always. Entitled Mother. Excuse me. Me, shutting off the engine so I can hear her. Yes, what's up? Entitled Mother. Would you mind plowing my driveway? There's been so much snow this week I just haven't been able to keep on top of shoveling it. Me. I don't have time to do a full cleanup as I have to go to class soon, but I can get it opened up enough that you can get out now, and I'll come back later after class and get the rest if you want. This is how much I usually charge, but since I don't have time to do a proper job this morning, I'll do it for half price. Entitled Mother. You're joking, right? How can you take advantage of a single mom like this? If I could afford to pay someone to plow my driveway, I would. You disgust me. I asked you to do me a favor as a neighbor, but you have to try and make a quick buck off of everything. I can't believe you're this lazy that you'd buy a machine like this to plow your small driveway and won't even help your neighbors out. Your generation is hopeless. Bear in mind, this woman is no more than 5 years older than me. Pretty sure she's still part of my generation. Me. You're right, it is overkill for my driveway. That's why I have about 20 people in the neighborhood paying me to do theirs as well. This is kind of a business for me to make some extra cash while I'm in school, and if everyone else is paying me, why should I do yours for free? Entitled Mom. I bet your mommy and daddy pay for all your schooling anyway. You don't need the money. She's not wrong. My parents busted their butts and saved up probably 3 times as much as what was necessary to put me through school, to which I am forever grateful, but that doesn't mean I don't have other living expenses I need to pay for. Me. So what if they did? Diesel fuel for this thing isn't free. I'm just asking for enough to cover that and some compensation for my time, which is pretty much how any other business operates. I don't think it's unreasonable of me to charge for my services. Entitled Mom. Your parents probably pay for that too. Wait till they realize what a brat you are and cut you off financially. Then you'll see what life is all about. This really rubbed me the wrong way because my parents have paid for a lot of stuff in my life, which again I'm very grateful for. But since they were helping me pay off my truck while I was in school, I didn't really feel like I owned it yet. I know it sounds silly, but that tractor was the first major thing I ever bought entirely, with my own money without my parents' help, and I was very proud of it because of that. I was done dealing with her at this point, and just went back to work cleaning up my own driveway and then went to class. Unfortunately, I have to walk past her house going to and from school. So on my way back, I walk past her house, and her bus is stuck real bad in the driveway. Like, it has gotten stuck and then slid sideways partly onto her own front lawn. She's outside trying to dig out the back wheels, and when she sees me, she explodes. Entitled Mom. I couldn't get my kids to daycare because of you, and missed work because of it. It was 11:20 when I talked to her that morning. Who doesn't have their kids in daycare already by that point? Also, people are usually at work by then too. I just ignored her and went inside. For the next few days, it continued to snow relentlessly, and I continued making an absolute fortune, by college student standards, off of the storm. It was so bad some days I had to go back out after class and clear the driveways again. Everyone was more than happy to pay and tip me both times, and one old lady even made me a thermos full of hot chocolate to keep me warm. My tractor didn't have a cab, obviously, with the extra people who usually did it themselves also calling me and asking me to bail them out on top of my usual route. I was doing pretty well. Every time I'd come home, I'd always see EM trying unsuccessfully to dig herself out, but she just couldn't deal with the heavy wet snow the city plows would push onto her driveway from the road onto her own. I felt bad for her, but whatever. If she was going to be rude to me, it wasn't my problem. Eventually, she flagged me down one day and tells me that she'll give me whatever I want if I'll just please come and dig her out. Apparently her work was threatening to fire her if she kept calling in because of the snow and not being able to get her kids to daycare. I did it for her and she paid. No tip, which is understandable with her situation, but did apologize to me for being so rude and now understood the value behind what I was doing. She still took care of the snow on her own most of the time after that, but she did ask me to help her out on occasion when it got really bad, which I did get paid for. I never really had any issues with her after that, and I think she's learned her lesson. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I mean, I'm all for helping neighbors out, but at the same time, if I've just made a business out of it and everybody else on the street's paying, for her to assume that she should get it for nothing is just totally out of line. Alright folks, that's all the stories we have for you today. If you like our content, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Have a great day.